everyone. It's poll winner time for the week, and this time it is the zombies' time of the season. And I was just asking Vlad as he was setting up the cameras for me, have I done the zombies before? I don't think so. And so I'm excited today. First of all, it's a poll winner. I know it's going to be something good. Secondly, I'm excited that it's a band that I haven't heard before. So another one for me to discover. The Zombies are an English rock band formed in St. Albans in 1962. Oh wait, St. Albans? St. Albans? Am I right on this? I think St. Albans is the home of the hot cross buns. You know, the hot cross buns that are traditionally eaten on Good Friday. Hot cross buns. Okay, now I have something different to associate with St. Albans. The Zombies. Their 1968 album Odyssey and Oracle was ranked number 100 on Rolling Stone's 2012 list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The Zombies were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2019. Time of the Season was featured as the final track of their 1968 album Odyssey and Oracle. Okay, so formed in 1962, this is from their 68 album. Over a year after its original release, the track became a surprise hit in the United States, rising to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the Cashbox chart. It has become one of the Zombies' most popular and recognizable songs and an iconic hit of 1960s psychedelia. I wonder why it was a surprise hit a year later. I'm curious about what were the things that made that come about. All right, well, thank you all for choosing this. I'm excited, and it's time for me to hear something other than hot cross buns associated with St. Albans.
It's the time of the season.
Okay.
When love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy. And let me try with pleasured hands to take you in the sun to promised lands, to show you everyone. It's the time of the season for loving.
Ooh.
What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he take us anytime to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly. Tell you why I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving.
Okay, this is... How does it make me feel? It's kind of... There are things about it that feel very classic, anchored, and predictable. It's funny. It's funny that it's somehow something about the voice and the whole general atmosphere. If I were asked to place this in a genre, subgenre, I don't think I would find myself placing it in 1960s psychedelia. I don't think I would. Because there's something about the voice and something about the, as I said, the atmosphere, the mood. Something strikes me as being in the same vein as, okay, just to put it in a broad box, let's just not pick a particular band, but let's say grunge. And I mean, this is my first time hearing it, so it's not a particular musical style. I think it's more the voice. It's more the voice and how it's making me feel. It's a similar feeling that I associate with much of what I hear when I have listened to grunge music. That is so interesting because this is a good deal earlier than that, isn't it? Maybe it's not actually the style. Maybe it's more the voice. Maybe it's some quality about the voice. Because as I'm thinking this through right now on the spot, I'm thinking maybe it's not grunge that it makes me think of, because the band that comes to mind is Soundgarden. And I think especially to the Soundgarden pieces that I've listened to. And something about this, it's so strange. Because no, I can't argue that it's the same musical stylistic subgenre, or, you know, I can't say that it sounds like Soundgarden or that it's Soundgarden style music. I can't say that, but something about the way it makes me feel, the way it impacts me. I don't know exactly why, but I think it might have to do with the voice. Possibly also the instrumentation. Let's keep listening.
What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me?
But it's different too, of course.
As he take
One of
us?
the things, so some of the details that stand out to me in this, we have this incredibly smooth tenor, da da dum, da da dum, which of course, you know, that's the motif that is happening with the bass at the beginning, dum bum bum, right? It's the same thing that we hear when the voice comes in, da da dum, very smooth, mellow, da da dum. But then when he drops down into the lower edge, da da da, suddenly he gets a lot of meatiness in his voice. It becomes, for those few notes, really, really, I would say, more like a baritone beefiness there. And it's so interesting to hear that shift in the voice happening so consistently, and it's such a contrast vocally, one to the other.
What's your name?
So smooth.
Who's your daddy?
Now, here it comes.
Is he rich like me? Has he take us anytime to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly.
And now this.
Why I really want to know is the time of the...
And there, I could say that I hear, you know, perhaps echoes of the Beatles sort of choruses, da 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 da. There's a Beatley sort of effect there, but it's so woven into and so smoothly integrated into the progression of this, from that smooth voice and the simple, very, very sparse instrumental accompaniment. And then it's growing and it's growing and it's growing, and it's this beautiful progression, which musically, and this is where I come back to the Soundgarden thing, because as much as it's not Soundgarden's music really gives me a strange mix of emotions and feelings and sensations as I listen to it. There's something kind of gray about it. I wouldn't call this gray, but I would call it perhaps English gloomy weather. You know, the classic, how many rainy days in a year? there is this sort of raininess about it, but at the same time, as it's progressing towards this chorus and the harmonizing voices, it becomes hopeful. It starts to brighten. It starts to pick up. And then it catches us by surprise.
Slowly tell you why I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving.
Here, where did that come from? Da 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 da. That's what my ears expect. That's where I expect it to go. And so that surprise twist there at the end, for loving instead of for loving. It's the difference between a whole step and a half step in the melody. And of course the harmony has to adapt to that as well. So it's the time of the season for loving. And it feels like we're developing towards a sort of anthemic declaration, but at the same time, we're pulled back into this kind of minor. It becomes a question. It becomes something painful, sweetly painful, or a little bit, again, moving back towards the melancholy. Interesting way of moving into this.
Of the season for loving.
This has a real shepherd's flute pipe sound to it as well. And that same progression there. This is da 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 da.
What's your name? What's your name?
And the other thing about this is it's again this complex mix of impressions and feelings. This sort of percussion and what sounds like almost a and I don't know if it is, but it sounds like it could be human created right in there. It creates these overtones of sort of really personal, face-to-face intimacy in the music. And so there's this kind of backing away feeling that the music does to me. At the same time, it's bringing me in. And for a piece that is built off of such a simple motif, da-da-dum, 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 that's the musical motif that the instruments are working with. That is the same thing the voice, the melody is working with as well. It's the time. It's the time. That's where we start. That's the raw material out of which this song is built. And it's not developed to the same level as, with all the layering and complexities, sonic stuff stacked in, that I have become accustomed to hearing with the Beatles. Neither is it a sort of heavy rock experience like I have heard the Beatles moving back towards. It's not. But at the same time, as I said, that chorus is kind of Beatle-y sounding. But it's interesting thinking about the fact that this was another English band, kind of in the Beatles era, and it's so different. And yet, just as like with the Beatles music, it's really emotionally complex, but in a different way. in more of a, dare I say it again, Soundgarden way. Really?
What's your name? What's your name? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? He is he rich like me? Has he taken any time to show?
And the contrast of voice again.
You need to live. Tell it to me slowly. Tell you why.
The guitar beeping along here. Beep, beep,
It's the
beep,
time of the season for
loving you. It wants to go there, but it doesn't. A lot of rhythmic elements happening in here. Whether it's the percussion or the bass, or even the way the keyboards are being played, there's this sort of rhythmic layering without becoming sonically heavy. Huh. Okay, I want to hear that little ending again. Back to the complexity of how I feel when I listen to this. It feels in this last section like there's this a little bit of frantic searching for a way out of the maze. And at the same time, it's kind of carefree. And then I think about the lyrics. It's the time of the season when love runs high, and this time, give it to me easy. And it's talking about love. It's the time of the season for loving. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he taken any time to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly. Tell you what? I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving. What's your name? I feel like the lyrics also have this kind of bare bones design, but are also expressing these kind of complicated feelings towards love, towards being in a relationship, perhaps, the inexperience. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he taken any time to show you what you need to live? There's the impression that there's a sort of blind innocence here, an inexperience, a naivete. It's the time of the season when love runs high. And this idea, the time of the season, usually we say it's the season for, or it's the time for, and we use them interchangeably. Now here we're hearing it's the time of the season. It's the time of the season. Even that in itself, there's a lot happening here on a fairly minimalistic design, but which actually could be, it's not just could be, it is quite complex, quite multi-layered. And I don't mean complex meaning in the terms of lots of lyrical stuff or lots of musical stuff. I mean, again, in the ideas and content of what is being expressed, what is being conveyed, what we get out of this, what I feel from this music, what I sense within it is so much more and so much, so multifaceted in comparison to the actual material that's there, whether I'm looking at the text or the music itself. And I find that incredibly appealing. It is very recognizable. I guess I would hear this and instantly recognize it. Probably just after this first listening. Anytime if I ever hear it anywhere, I'll recognize immediately. I won't have to try. So it also has this very, very iconic feel about it, meaning you don't have to be reminded who it is, what it is, anything like that. You hear bum, bum, bum from the beginning. Nothing terribly innovative. I could imagine that. Let's just take it a different direction. Let's say that little motif was picked up by, let's say Led Zeppelin for comparison's sake. I could imagine that played in a Led Zeppelin manner. It would be taken a whole lot differently. But here, in this context, with that particular set of sonic elements and experiences, so simple, so clean, so naked. And I guess that's the thing that I feel about this piece. Complexity, multifacetedness, and then a kind of nakedness as well. What a fascinating piece of music. You know, this is a piece of music that I already feel myself choosing to spend more time with it intentionally and really kind of exploring it. Yes, we can unravel the technicalities, you know, the theoretical elements quite easily. Dum bum bum bum, and even the places where it surprises us with a different chord progression. Those are all worthy of sorting out and analyzing, because they are all the tools, the means whereby they achieve this overall effect. But the thing that I love about this is that over the entire piece, it always feels a bit conservative, a little bit, as I said, maybe conservative isn't the word, but I'm going to go back to minimalist and naked. Those are the two words that come to me as qualities about this music that make it stand out to me. And it's going to be an interesting one to live with for a while, because it's one that, in spite of the fact that it has such a simple material makeup, it has so much more to offer as a final product. Thank you all who voted for this and chose it for me this week. It's not only a band I haven't heard, a song I haven't heard, but one that has piqued my interest and made me curious about more about the Zombies and about spending time with this song. Well, coming back to the St. Albans idea, it's pretty hard to come up with something that is more recognizable, more iconic than hot cross buns, especially for a music teacher who teaches beginners. So I think you did it. I think you did it, because this is so recognizable and so iconic feeling. Something else for St. Albans. This was a fun, interesting, and engaging piece of music to listen to as my introduction to the zombies. Again, thank you for choosing it for me. I'll see you next time.